If you want bigger opportunities in your life, you got to do well with smaller opportunities. It's a principle in God. And David demonstrates this by his character. There are three things I'll mention about his character that help us to see this point. David fought Goliath, but the fighting of Goliath was preceded by some things in his life. It was preceded by a commitment to just simple obedience. I read it a moment ago, but I'll draw your attention back to it again. David was on the battlefield that day, not because he woke up that morning wanting to go to the battlefield. The reason that David was on the battlefield that day was because his dad asked him to go, right? Correct? He didn't have some massive vision that God called him. I'm calling you, thus saith the Lord, David, to go and fight the battle of Goliath. No, nothing like that happened. He didn't have a vision, didn't have a dream, didn't have a prophet come to him. All he had was his dad who came to him, son, I want you to take some bread and cheese to your brothers and tell me how they're doing. And sometimes without knowing it, your God-given opportunities happen when you just obey the simple things that you're asked to do along the way. Simple obedience. So David could have said to his dad, Dad, I don't want to go. I got things to do tomorrow. I can't really go on this trip. Or, you know what, Dad, you always ask me to do stuff like this. I'm the youngest son. I'm not going to do it. Or David could have said, you know, Daddy, you didn't even invite me to the anointing party last week. I'm not going. He could have resisted. And had he resisted, had he disobeyed the simple opportunity, he would have missed his moment. Never underestimate the simple things that God will ask you to do, or God-appointed people in your life will ask you to do. Because if you do the simple things that God asks you to do and the simple things that God's anointed authority in your life asks you to do, you will oftentimes find yourself stepping into the very opportunity that God had planned for you. Simple obedience.